Hey folks, welcome to a brand new Let's Play adventure from the mysterious JG. This is either my favorite or my second favorite Final Fantasy game. It's kind of tied perennially with Final Fantasy X, which is probably the best LP I've ever done on my channel. Was the Final Fantasy X International Edition. I tried to showcase everything I could about that game. And the only RPG, Final Fantasy, whatever that I like anywhere near as much as Final Fantasy X is Final Fantasy VIII. And I'm already going into this thinking I'm probably not going to be able to do as complete a Let's Play of this as I did of X, although I sure hope it's going to be fun. Because Final Fantasy X is probably by objective measure as far as being complete. Commentary was pretty spot on. I remember having a lot of fun with the jokiness in that one. Probably the best one I've ever done, and I'd like to see Final Fantasy VIII give that LP a run for its money. The scholars of the future will spend tons of time, I'm sure, debating which mysterious JG Final Fantasy Let's Play is the best. But at any rate, I love this game, and I hope you guys are going to love it too as I play through. This is the Remastered edition, which means mostly that all the characters have really terrifying-looking eyes now, because PS1 graphics didn't really allow for a whole lot of that. Like Final Fantasy X, it is in its heart of hearts, it's a love story. In a sense, they flip Final Fantasy VIII. I mean, spoilers, I guess, but it's a broad theme of the game. It's not. We don't get that far in before it becomes pretty obvious who the love interest is going to be for the main character. But Final Fantasy X was the story of a kind of quiet girl being brought out of her shell by a goofy, fun-loving guy. And this is kind of the opposite. The quiet guy is brought out of his shell by the goofy, fun-loving girl. It's not exactly a perfect inversion. I don't remember Rinoa being anywhere near as irritating as Titus, and Yuna is certainly not as douchey as Squall. But it's a game I just remember having really enjoyed. I think similar to Final Fantasy X, for whatever reason, I remember being at a place where I had time on my hands, and for whatever reason, I won't go into the time. I just was kind of stuck on my own a bit, and playing a game about a group of friends going out on an adventure, even if some of the friends really seem to hate each other, like Squall seems to hate everyone. Just still really enjoying that whole sense. The one really odd thing, I'll get going here in a second. One very odd thing about this Let's Play is I've played ahead quite a bit. As soon as I got my hands on this, I started doing a bunch of off-screen grinding, but a very specific type of grinding, which I'll probably showcase, in order to avoid gaining levels, because this is one of those oddball RPGs where the game kind of punishes you for getting levels, because similar to a couple of the Breath of Fire games, which I find rather frustrating to tell you the truth, if you go deep into the story before you gain any levels, you can get your hands on skills and passive abilities where you get your stats increase when you level. So if you level up from level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 at the early game, you're just getting your basic stat boost at level up. But if you can wait further into the game before you start leveling up, you'll have found not by leveling up, but by other means, you'll have gotten your hands on passive abilities where at level up you get +1 to strength. And you already get +1 to strength when you level up, say, but now you get +2 to strength, but only if you have this passive ability that you can only get by progressing a little further. So Final Fantasy VIII, in a weird way, is a game that punishes you for leveling up. But at the same time, it's not a hard enough game that you really need to worry about that too much. The only place where it comes into play is if you want to fight the optional super boss. And as much as I love Final Fantasy VIII, I've never actually beaten the optional super boss of this game, and that's definitely something I intend to do in this playthrough. So I need to figure out myself just how much I'm going to worry about optimizing and stat min-maxing the characters, which may involve having kind of two simultaneous plays, one that I'm showcasing and another off-screen Let's Play where I just use really cumbersome techniques to avoid leveling up until we get way deep in the story, and I've got access to the ability to really maximize leveling up so that people have we'll get into the mechanics of the game and junctioning spirits to increase your stats and blah blah, but I want to get to the point where people have base stats without equipment boosts, because that's essentially what Guardian Forces in this game are, equipment boosts. But basically, I want to get to the point where people have like max base stats to take on the final boss. But that's a huge amount of work. It would make for a really cumbersome series to watch. So I'm torn about how exactly I'm going to do this. But I definitely gotten well into Act 1 while trying to keep the leveling up to a minimum. So I guess what I'm getting at is I will start playing the game. I swear. But what I'm getting at is that we're going to play through quite a bit of the beginning story. And then eventually we're going to load state and just have like have a completely different playthrough where everybody's back at like level 2 or 3. But overall have better stats because of some things I've been doing. At any rate, let's press the any button and start this Let's Play. Squaresoft. I always thought the Squaresoft logo needed a little voice singing Squaresoft, and then maybe like Sonic the Hedgehog or something. Is there supposed to be music playing? I think there's supposed to be music playing. You probably hear music. Yes, okay. I had accidentally set it up so I couldn't hear the music, but there is supposed to be music playing. I remember this being the intro that you get on discs 2, 3, and 4, but I guess you also can get it on disc 1 in this version. So if we go to continue, like I've got Zell level 8 in the Balamb Renal Coast, 20 hours almost to play in. And I've got staggered saves leading up to that, which I may or may not bother to use. Because to tell you the truth, I lost all track of where I was at all these points. So I'll probably just ignore them. I was like, oh, I could like have a really good, like when you first get Quistis in your party, I've got like the best equipment that's possible after an hour 23 minutes of playing the card game. I may or may not bother with any of that crap. I might just play up till the point where we get to the Renal Coast here and load up. But either way, for now, we're going to start a new game because we're 7 minutes in and I haven't started the freaking game yet. Okay, thank you. Oh, and I'll be showcasing it as we go, but move speed ×3, no random battles and battle bonus, that's all just stuff that they decided to give us for the HD remake. You do not have the option of tripling game speed on the PS1. And much like Final Fantasy XII, the HD remake, yeah, the grinding is a whole lot less troublesome. Because I love Final Fantasy VIII, but the grinding is manic. Like the drawing magic, as you'll see, just takes forever. You actually fight enemies and absorb magic from them by not killing them and just like spending turns absorbing magic. That's crazy. The HD remake tries to undo some of that. It also gives us a pretty beach scene. And some pseudo Carl Orff music. Is that Carl Orff? I'll be here. Why? Because I like you. I'll be waiting here. Waiting in quotes. I'll have my phone. For what? I'm guessing as a who's who. I'll be waiting for you, so if you come here, you'll find me. Well, okay, I guess that makes sense. Thanks. I promise. I'll just hang around in this field forever. I have no place else to go, Squall. Now, these scenes, to my eyes, not that I've played the PS1 version recently, it's been years, but the game seems to look the same in these FMV sequences. It probably looks better on my HD TV than it would if I was playing the PS1 version. But the in-game stuff, the character models have definitely been redesigned. Hi, Squall, don't I look different? Final Fantasy V! Though maybe this has been redone. Like, I don't remember them putting up Final Fantasy VIII logos all over the place. And, we're obviously not meant to know what's going on in an initial playthrough with all these various characters and clutching their chests to indicate sincerity or evil. Shockingly, the blonde guy is not a good guy. Usually the blondes are like the hero. This blonde guy, kind of a douche. But based on his name alone, I will have fun giving him a voice that I can do. You know, I haven't actually figured out voices for everybody yet. I really kind of need to get that going. Always going for the Iron Claw, but you're countering with a fireball. I clutched my chest to indicate how sincerely sorry I am that your eye just got cut out. Oh, he's got vulture feathers. Bobo, take note. Final Fantasy V. Oh, it's actually TM. Final Fantasy V. 1999 square. So that the part with the blonde guy fighting our hero happened. Everything else is like flash forward stuff. Dr. Karawaki. Time for Karaki. I guess she would be Eastern European somehow. How are you feeling? Okay, I guess my forehead hurts. A lot of these... Now, this is definitely a game... I don't have a FAQ open in front of me. If I want to do a 100% playthrough of this game, you would need a FAQ. This game is full of missable stuff. Particularly because it's... And maybe they cleaned this up for the HD remake, but I doubt it. This is a PS1 era game, and it's a PS1 era big RPG. So it's like multi-disc, which means that there are things that if you don't do this before the end of disc 1, it's no longer available. Occasionally stuff, well, you know, it'll be like if you get to point A in the plot, you can do it, and if you get to point B in the plot, you can no longer go back and do it, even though A and B are on the same disc. By and large, it's like there's stuff that you can only do on disc 1, and if you don't do it on disc 1, it's no longer in the game. And disc 4, in particular, is basically the final dungeon. Like, you've got to do all of your stuff that you want to do in the main world before the end of disc 3. But it's one of those games where, you know, yeah, if I was playing this on an emulator... I was really torn. At one point, I was convinced I would end up playing this on a PS1 emulator so that I could go show you both sides of all these silly conversations. But it is also a game that gives you a lot of things like this where it doesn't seem to make a difference which decision you make. So I'll try to be in character as what Squall would do. And Squall is, like, not going to admit that he got fucking cut in the face, even though it's obvious. Okay, I guess. Okay. Take it easy next time, you hear? Looks like your eyes are focusing. You should be fine. Say your name for me. I think if you say, I think maybe off screen I said my forehead hurts because I remember actually telling you something about you're practicing too rough with Cipher or Cipher, however it's pronounced. So our name is Squall, and we're here to say that we love being douchey in a major way. I'm not going to bother to change anybody's names. Oh, maybe, I guess it's, never mind, it's the same thing. Why don't you take it easy in training? Next time you might not be so lucky. Tell that to Cipher. And I think it is Cipher. Because I read it, I kind of read the name as being German. And in German, when you have two vowels back to back, usually it means that the second of the two vowels is a long vowel. So I think that would be pronounced Cipher. I'm going to call him Cipher. That Cipher won't listen to anyone. Why don't you ignore him? I can't just run away. You want to be cool, huh? Well, don't get hurt in the process. Let's see, your instructor is... Quistis. I'll call her now. Just wait here a minute. Now, the moment of truth. I have to decide between giving Quistis a British accent or the Lulu voice. I think I'll give her a British accent. There's somebody else who could have the Lulu voice later. Quistis, come get your student. Yes, he's not really hurt other than his face having been cut off, but I won't let him walk out of here. Yes, his injury's not serious. It'll probably leave a scar. Yeah, huge facial scars are not serious. Right, now please come by. Squall, so we meet again. She's not going to actually talk enough for me to care about giving her a voice. strange character. He's kind of important to the plot, sort of, but... I don't know why she would have a British accent other than the fact that she's haughty. I knew it'd be either you or Cypher. And then when she told me it was you... Oh, actually, she didn't tell you who it was. Come on, let's go. Today's the field exam. I'm haughty. Squall, is there something on your mind? Is there something you'd like to tell me, Mr. Potter? Not really. Not really. Ha 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 ha. What's so funny? Funny? No, it's not that. I'm just happy. Happy that I was able to make fun of you. I feel like I'm beginning to understand my student a little, that's all. I'm more complex than you think. Then tell me. Tell me more about yourself. He turns to camera because he's a badass. It's none of your business. Ha 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 ha. Stop finishing my sandwiches. Well, I guess we're not walking with her anymore. So this game is set at a bizarre, giant battleship high school, but we'll learn more about that as it goes along. Good morning, class. I've just retrieved dipshit from the infirmary so we can begin. Let's start with today's schedule. Let's get down to business, shall we? There seem to have been some rumors flying around since yesterday. Yes, the field exam for seed candidates who for some reason have the last letter in the word capitalized will begin later this afternoon. Those not participating and those who failed last week's written test are to remain here in study hall. So did you have to specify, okay, those not participating would include those who failed the written test, right? You just want to stick it to those poor suckers? Field exam participants will have free time until the exam. Just be sure you're in top condition. Meet in the hall at 1600 hours. I'll announce the team assignments there. Any questions? Oh, and Cypher. Do not injure your partner while training. Be careful from now on. Dramatic. Fist pump, pound, whatever. Field exam participants, I will see you all later. I like the concept of Cypher more than Cypher in execution. As the game progresses, he's kind of a rival. I don't know. I like stories in which the main character has a rival who is not necessarily evil and on the opposite side. He's just a rival. I actually love Gary Oak more than I should love any Pokemon character, but the concept of Gary Oak is awesome. And I had this weird fascination with the idea that the Custera could somehow outshine the Aquatalians and be the ones to defeat Homunculus. And Squall, I need to talk to you. Even though that's not what the Custera are really about. So we are level 7. That's actually pretty annoying when you're obsessed with getting as many level ups as you can. It's why would the main character start at level 7? What is the point of levels 1 through 6? If she wants to talk to us, I'm like, screw it, I'm going to sit here and look at this console. Turn on the power, and what a pain. So she wants to talk to us, but we instead are going to waste time looking at a console that tells you about Balamb Garden. Login Squall confirmed. GF data for Squall searching. GF registered under Squall are GF Quetzalcoatl and GF Shiva. Which we will just go with these names. The tutorial covers all aspects of gameplay. This tutorial can also be accessed through the regular menu at any time during the game. Battle operation, online help, card game rules. Let's come back to this later. For now, let's learn about... Oh, never mind, that's... Refer to the tutorial on how to use magics in GF. About sorceresses in magic. I'll explain these as we actually need them, but I'm kind of trying to get background story stuff now. So about sorceresses in magic. A woman who is a sorceress in magic. A woman who has inherited the power of a sorceress. The origins of the sorceress go back to ancient times during Hein's reign. However, there is no factual evidence. Well, that's not really very useful, because we don't know who Hein is. That basically told us nothing. So facility rules, student rules, admission and graduation info, garden info, seed info. Oh god, there's so much. Classroom. Students should be in their seats and waiting for the instructor 5 minutes before class. When class is over, proceed quietly to your next class. Food, weapons, and magic are prohibited. Study panels are shared. Handle with care. The training center. Proceed with caution. There are real monsters in the training center. It's open 24 hours. Entering the grounds for reasons other than training is prohibited. Do not engage in battles beyond your ability. Infirmary. Visit the infirmary if you have any health concerns or problems. No items may be taken from the infirmary without permission. Follow the doctor's instructions. Resident physician, Dr. Kadawaki. Time for Karaki. It's that mean doctor who replaced Beverly Crusher for like one season. Dr. Kowalski. Open hours for the library are 9 a.m. to lights out. Library usage. All materials are open to the public. You may check out materials at the desk. Remain quiet at all times. The dorms. Everybody's welcome to apply. Seats have priority for single rooms. Going out after hours for reasons other than training are prohibited. Do not leave personal possessions in common areas. And the cafeteria. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Keep the area clean. If late night meals are required, order them beforehand. This is all fascinating stuff. Student rules. Garden precepts. Work hard, study hard. What does that say? Party hard? Oh, play hard. Okay. Lame. Attire. In general, there's no dress code in Balamb Garden. However, dress accordingly if instructed to do so by your superiors. You can wear all sorts of weird fetish costumes. It's okay. Reward and punishment. Speaking of fetish, the headmaster presents official commendations to outstanding students. Students who engage in violent acts, sexual promiscuity, wow, or who fall behind in their curriculum, etc., may be expelled from garden. Oh, I just read this. Sorry. I guess I just got excited about sexual promiscuity. Conduct. The skills acquired in the garden must never be used for personal gain, like your sexual prowess that you'll gain from your promiscuity. Refrain from committing any acts that may damage the garden's reputation. Take time to think through before starting a relationship. Okay. Kind of personal rules. Procedures in case of an emergency. If you are on 2th floor, use the emergency exit next to the classroom. If you are on 1 floor, exit to the front gate. All students must take care of junior classmen during emergencies. Do not use the elevator during an emergency. It's actually not like a weird flying action-packed RPG high school. There's also little kids running around. And evening outings. All students should be in their dorm rooms after hours unless at the training center. So yeah, we're pretty much going to spend this entire video just reading a background about this bizarre school that we live in. And probably by the end of the second video, we'll actually be running around exploring the school. And by the end of video 10 or so, we might have actually encountered our first monster. It's a Final Fantasy game, folks. It starts a little slow. Admission. Applicants between ages 5 and 15 are admitted. Too old. Yes, too old to begin the training. All hard-working and confident youths are welcome. Ambitious overachievers are also welcome. Applicants are admitted only after passing a final interview. Graduation must be between 15 and 19 years of age. One must have all the required skills and knowledge taught through the garden courses. One must have the headmaster's approval to graduate. At age 20, regardless of graduation, all students are released from the garden. I just read this. Why am I doing that again? Alumni opportunities. Hey, the garden supports a program that helps graduates enlist in armies all over the world. Instructors and seeds are permitted to remain in the garden. However, seedship must be attained before the age of 20. So I guess if you pass, you can hang around at the garden for a while as an instructor or something. And if you fail, you just get kicked out. Garden info. About Balamb Garden. About Trabia Garden. About Galbadia Garden. Balamb Garden Headmaster Sid Kramer. Balamb Garden Proprietor, Master Norg. Scoop. Balamb Garden was the first garden built in accordance with Headmaster Sid's ideals and dreams. Good for him. A garden in the Trabia region. There is an exchange program between Trabia Garden and Balamb Garden. We can't be bothered to tell you who the headmaster or proprietor are. And Galbadia Garden, the garden of the Galbadia Republic. It is the largest garden of the three. Galbadia Garden's master, Martine, who is also the headmaster, has set up a program to recruit Balamb graduates into the Galbadian army. And seed info. What is a seed, and why are we capitalizing the D? Balamb Garden's mercenaries, commanding Goof. They have special fighting abilities. They work in small teams and operate all over the world. All over the world. It's basically Adventure University. Dispatching seeds. How do we discharge seeds? Seeds are deployed all over the world. Their services are requested by governments and even civilians. Their tasks range from providing military support to protecting civilians. Qualifications of a seed. Students can apply after the age of 15. Passing the written test and completing an official mission are required to become a seed. Seeds are paid according to rank. So yeah, basically this is this bizarre military school where there's no dress code and you can do whatever you want all the time, and I accidentally backed out. One more time. I don't know why he goes, phew, he really hates using this thing. A message from Garden. Wow, there's even more of this nonsense. Spring Memorial Service, Entrance Ceremony, Seed Exam, Summer Garden Festival, Autumn Student-Sponsored Event, Winter Vacation. Apparently there's only 3 events in spring, and the other seasons have even fewer things that happen. There's a total of 7 events that are going to take place over the entire year. Cafeteria announcements. Competition for the hot dogs and meals is really getting out of hand. We are doing our best to provide everyone with enough food, so please be patient and conduct yourselves in orderly fashion. It's like that riff track, so the food rebels. Thank you. As you well know, magic and weapons are prohibited inside the cafeteria. I keep backing out all the way. I don't know how to not. Disciplinary committee announcements. Follow all disciplinary committee rules. This applies to junior classmen too. Do not bring animals inside the garden. Report seeing any unusual bugs in the garden. Do not litter. No matter what button I press, it kicks me all the way out. Library committee announcements. The following materials are overdue. Please return them to the library immediately. Insect Guidebook. Color Edition. Raijin. Goodbye Pupuran. Raijin. The following requested materials have arrived. I love the fact that they tell you exactly what every... they have the wall of shame here for this Raijin guy who's got books that he shouldn't have. Edible Flowers. Turbine Engines, Revised Edition. We Meet Again, Pupurin. And the Sorcerer's Night Scenario Edition. That was really not interesting. Garden Square. Your opinions are important to make our garden a better place. Write them down and place them in the Dropbox. I got first. Treppies forever, baby. Man, I want to go out with her. Trep Groupie number 1. Hey, Trep Groupie number 1. You got a name, dumbass? I'm going to kick your ass. What's your name? Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Big loser. I should kick both your sorry asses. This is not for your silly games. Got it? Shoo. She was like a girl, and, well, not a girl. She was like a woman. Like, I think she's like a graduate instructor, but she's in here telling people to, that she's going to kick their sorry asses. I don't want the disciplinary committee to get on my case, so I'm not writing my name. J.I. What? Who's J.I.? Who are you? Al Massey. See, they're so nosy. Good thing I went with my initials. J.I. I'll go with my initials, too. Hey, does anyone know if the new hot dogs are good? I haven't tried them yet. Z.D. Yeah, we're going to find out who that is. Oh, yeah, they're the best. Man, you're missing out. M.S. Damn, I miss it again. Z.D. Hey, Z.D., you have your exam today, right? Good luck, man. M.S. What the fuck? It's like Facebook, but there's only 4 people on it. ZD, I hope you do well on your exam. Be careful. All right, librarian. And the School Festival Committee, which has its own background. Thanks for looking up this page, but there won't be any updates for a while. That's because I, the Garden Festival Chair, will be leaving Garden. I did not strive to be a seed, and I won't even graduate. I devoted all my time to the Garden Festival, my passion. But in the end, there was no Garden Festival. That's because no one volunteered to help out. But I have only myself to blame. I thought I alone could pull it off. I will be starting a new life, but I sincerely hope someone will take over the Garden Festival Committee. Goodbye, Balamb Garden. Wimbly Donner. Wow. Donner, you are apparently a minor footnote in the Final Fantasy wiki, I'm sure, but apparently the saddest character in Final Fantasy history. They were kicked out of university for failing because they spent all of their time trying to plan a garden festival, which didn't even happen. Well, as we pondered the sadness of Wimbly Donner's existence, it's time to call it a video. And obviously we didn't get a whole heck of a lot done, because I spent almost a third of it just giving you a little background. That's not too bad for a Final Fantasy LP that's going to go many, many videos long. But I hope you've gotten a feel for, well, just the fact that we're in a kind of weirdo adventure school with a bunch of people who are being childish on their bizarre little forum. And that's kind of going to be the tone of a lot of this game, even as we're fighting giant, terrifying monsters. We'll see more of it as we continue in the next video. I'm Mysterious JG. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.